Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? You mentioned the word confidence a few times. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, isn't that great? It's a word that's so interesting. My mom will always say, you've always had so much confidence." I know that there's a definition of confidence in the dictionary that y'all can look up, but for me, it's a belief because and maybe courage is a better word because I feel like I'm scared a lot of the time when I'm doing something. I feel very nervous because I'm excited about it and I want it to go a certain way. I also don't know how it's going to go. You and I, you've been in business a long time. You have an idea of how things are going to go, and then tech can happen or something can happen. But for me, it's as a belief in what I am doing and how I'm creating things that solve people's problems. And I know if you're listening to this, you're like, how does Pilates solve the world's problems? Because I think a lot of people don't know who they are and they don't spend time with themselves. And when they do, they're shaming themselves and they're talking negatively themselves. So to me, confidence it's a belief in myself, in that even if I screw it up, even if I do it wrong, it's gonna be okay because I'm gonna just show up again tomorrow and I'm gonna learn from it. So it's less that dictionary word of I'm so good at something, I've done it so much, I'm so confident in it. I'm nervous all the time. My husband was recording an event that I had to teach at, and there was 85 people in the room, which doesn't sound like a lot if you talk to 10,000, but I had 85 people I was teaching in one room. And that at the time was years ago. I'd never taught 85 people in a room. And in the front row was a bunch of people who've never done Pilates before that a company flew them out to take my class. There's also, like, other famous Pilates instructors who took the time to take my class, and then there's all these other people, and I looked at my husband and I said, "Oh my god, I'm so nervous right now." He said, "How is this any different than what you're already doing?" And there was that moment that I realized that I think a lot of us get nervous and scared, we doing a thing we already had confidence in doing. So for me, I just really try to focus on believing in what I'm doing and just doing the things that I know I believe in, I believe I can do. And the confidence and the courage and all of that comes.
100%. A thought comes to mind, and I'll butcher this, so I apologize. But I was listening to Kobe Bryant do an interview, and he was asked about being nervous taking game winning shots. And he said, I'm never nervous taking game winning shots because I've already practiced it 1,000 times in the gym. And I think that's such a relatable concept. People ask me all the time before I get on stage, even last week in New York City, they were like, are you nervous? I'm like, no. And the response that people get is give me is shocking because they're like, wow, you're so confident. I'm like, yeah, but you weren't there when there were two people, four people, the mirror, me practicing in this in my head 10,000 times. And that's the truth about it. I'm in full agreement with you. If you're not willing to go through the suffering of the doing it at repetition to create proficiency, you'll never be able to do it when it's on the see all the time in real life scenarios, those who are unprepared because they're going to fail. And I would rather fail in practice than fail during game time. Iverson's thing about we're talking about practice is just practice. That's so important because it is the practice in which you gain the tools to be proficient and
Yeah.
build the confidence to show up when it's time to execute. And it sucks. Like, honestly, like practicing sucks. Like, it's boring.
Oh, I used to, because people ask this is a great question. People ask, "How are you so confident when you do video?" Because now everyone has to do video. Like you all have to learn how to look at the dot on the screen, not the person's eyes, like all the things. Like how did you do that? Because I've been teaching online for years. I've been teaching on before people got on Zoom. And I said, you know what's really funny? I took a random commercial acting class, and they make you practice looking at a Post-it note while you make your bed, and you are, like, selling an Amex while you're making your bed. And so I practiced talking to Post-it notes in my house, doing this thing, and it ended up happening that when a very famous company brought me on to teach a Pilates class, they're like, "Wow, you're a natural." No, not a natural. I've been practicing talking to a Post-it note while Swiffering my floor. These things, and I think people they look at other people doing stuff and they think that it was so easy for them. They don't see the practice. They don't see, like, the Kobe Bryant practicing game-winning shots in practice, right? They don't see you, the twos and the fours. And when they see us, they see, oh, where we've come, where we're at now, not where we came from. And I challenge anyone listening that's like going, oh gosh, it's so easy for them. whenever you say that to yourself, I want you to picture them actually starting with 2 people and 4 people, because that's what they did. No one is starting off with 10,000. And by the way, you don't want to. You don't want your first speech to be in front of 10,000 people. I promise.